In communication with Southern California, KHJ-TV Public Affairs presents Teen Talk. Operation Raleigh, the largest multinational expedition ever undertaken, was initially funded by the Prince of Wales. Operation Raleigh is expected to make more than 40 expeditions in over 30 countries from 1984 to 1988. Some of Operation Raleigh's projects in foreign lands include airstrip construction, repair of schools, and improvement of local water services.
You're about to embark on an adventure that I feel certain you will find exhilarating, uplifting, and exciting. When I discovered this unique program just a short year ago, I found it to be mixed with equal parts of helpful aid to local communities and a courageous expedition. I'm Joseph Feinstein, and today on Teen Talk we're about to set sail on Operation Raleigh, as they call it, which is pronounced Raleigh in America, with a group of young teenage explorers, or venturers as they're called, on a journey into an understanding of this very important, constructive, and life-saving work that they have undertaken. Welcome, panel. Welcome to Teen Talk. Please help our viewers understand a little bit more about Operation Raleigh so that they can kind of, come into understanding with it. Steve, take it.
Well, Operation Raleigh is, as the introduction said, it's a 4-year international program involving people from around the world. But it's much more than the literature says, in that it's actually an incredible experience to get together and to work with and form friendships with people from around the world. And I think that's probably the most overlooked part of Operation Raleigh.
Where are you from?
I'm from Chicago.
Chicago, okay. And what about you, Casey? What does Operation Raleigh mean to you?
Well, to me, Operation Raleigh meant the leaders of today the leaders of tomorrow getting along today. But I think if you ask any one Operation Raleigh person, they would give you 100 different answers. If you asked 100 different people, you would get 100 different answers from them.
Really?
I think it means, in general, the sense of being together, working with people that are from different backgrounds is the general overall feeling that everybody gets. But I think everybody you ask would give a different opinion of what they thought Operation Raleigh was.
And where are you from?
I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay. And Letty, how would you define Operation Raleigh?
Operation Raleigh, for me, was a strong growing experience. It formed a lot of friendships for me. I learned a lot of new things, just about life in general. It was a...
Well, where did you go? What did you do?
I went to Chile, South America.
Chile, South America. All right. I've heard of that place.
And we went down to...
That's the long one, right?
Right. The one on the western coast.
Uh-huh.
We went down to a glacier known as San Rafael, and we did some work down there, and then we traveled north to a small village called Melinka, where we did our service works.
Your service works.
Tell me. We built a dam which enables the people during the dry season to have more water for the village. We cleared about 65 meters of trees and underbrush to form another road so they could build more houses along there. And on the other side of the island, we constructed a house for a school teacher.
Wonderful. How many is the we part of?
In Malinka at that time, we had 32 ventures.
32 venturers. Okay. What about you, Karen? What does Operation Raleigh mean to you?
Well, I think it's really good for young people in the sense that it's a way for them to feel good about themselves, to
You're
be
one
a
of those
part
young people.
Right.
This is not
We
out
can
of this
feel
world,
good.
my dear. How
We
old
can feel
are
good.
you?
I'm 18.
18. Go ahead.
And I'm on my way to New Zealand. I'm leaving in December.
Really?
The middle of December.
What are you going to do?
And, well, it's hard to predict any time. It's hard to put down on paper to prepare someone to what they're going to do.
You're going to say good day.
That's
one of the things
a lot of
say.
that. They said you'll see a lot of sheep there. And so, but it's the whole thing is science, service, and adventure. And so in New Zealand, what we were told is that we won't have a separate project for adventure, that New Zealand is adventure in itself, which I think most of the expeditions are.
How did you hear about this Operation Raleigh?
Well, I was reading the Wall Street Journal.
You're a braggart, I can tell. Yeah, go ahead.
One Sunday morning, flipping through the pages of the Wall Street Journal, I came across an ad that was about an inch wide, about 2 inches long. saying, "Are you willing to dedicate 3 months of your life to a challenging expedition but an incredible experience?" I said, "Well, it sounds pretty interesting." So I sent away for literature, and I found out that Operation Raleigh was much more than that. It was a chance to meet people from around the world, work in professional situations, doing some really incredible projects. It was designed to take you to a different part of the world and work with different people, the community there and the environment there, and just be a completely different experience for you.
So you apply to Operation Raleigh, you answered the ad, and what happens then for you? What happened then, Liz?
Well, my sister got me involved with it, basically. I had the selection coordinator over for dinner one night. And
Always a good idea. Very smart, yeah.
And he was showing me slides and stuff, and I couldn't sit still in my chair. I was so excited to hear everything that he was going to tell me. So that next day, I put my application in, and a week later, I found out I was going on my weekend. And 3 weeks later there, I was off to England fundraising for it, and I was just opened my eyes to what's out in the world, and there's so much to see and so much to learn by living it, not just reading about it.
I understand there are several goals of Operation Raleigh: science, service, self-confidence building, and the ability to think logically under pressure. What was some of the training that you guys had to get you ready for some of this kind of work? Letty?
Well, we have a selection weekend where we go and we meet other people, so we have to learn to get along with other people, learn to cope with them, their little hang-ups, because in a weekend we are pushed mentally and physically. We really learn a lot about teamwork and how to use that.
Can you tell us anything of what goes on in that weekend?
A lot of it is surprise, is the element of surprise.
Surprise! I
So
love a surprise.
for those that want to come into it, I don't want to say too much because it ruins your element of surprise. But there is, you face a lot of physical strain, a lot of mental strain, and just basically, and you have
Sounds
to keep
wonderful.
Yeah, it's an attitude of I can do it. You got to keep that attitude, I can do it with my friends. And you go from there.
I thought when I was going to my selection weekend, having a little advantage to the strength side, I thought, okay, I'll just be leaving these guys in my desk, but it wasn't that at all. There were certain situations where a strength did come in handy, but that didn't just mean that my strength didn't mean.
Can you get a little specific?
Yeah, there were situations where it really meant teamwork and a group. One person couldn't do it. Where it was the skills and knowledge and flexibility of a group to work together to accomplish that goal.
Well, Liz hasn't gone. You haven't gone on your expedition yet.
No.
All right, you all have gone. Steve, have you been on yours?
Yeah.
Tell me, did the training that you received in the weekend and so forth, was it useful when you finally? Where did you go?
I went to southern Chile as well. I did pretty much the reverse trip that Letty did. I started off in Malinka and traveled down to San Rafael, and then Letty took the boats that we rowed down. Their group rowed them back up, and so we were left for a month and a half with 38 venturers down in San Rafael. And yeah, I guess a lot of the skills that we learned and a lot of the things that we worked on and that were tested for in the selection weekend were used in that cooperation and teamwork were the two keys.
Are you good at that? Are you good at giving cooperation and teamwork?
I used to think so.
What happens?
You learn a lot about whether you are or not. I and another American venturer were in charge of putting together a bridge, and they gave us 12 people and 21 days, and said, when we come back in 3 weeks, I want to see a bridge spanning from here across this.
The River Kwai, right?
Well, basically, yeah, it was 118 feet, and they said, do it. And the motivation was the toughest part, keeping people constantly motivated.
In the middle of a jungle? Is this a jungle?
No, we're in we were in a rainforest. We were on the edge of a glacier, and we were faced with, I guess, for the 21 days of the bridge, we had 18 days of rain. And so, and there were so many things, but motivation was the key thing in keeping people from, trying to prevent idle hands.
Who's in charge of umbrellas out there? No.
We didn't even bother. We were wet.
Casey, where did you go?
I went to Australia. I just returned.
You just returned.
Yeah.
And was the training helpful for you as you went around?
I found the biggest thing that I got out of it was learning to listen to other people's ideas, because on the weekend you had to, and it really helped because, of course, everybody's idea is, when they have an idea, it's always right, and your idea is always right, and you're not going to listen to them, and they're not going to listen to you. And so when you're actually out there and you have to do a job and you have a time limit, it really helps when you both realize, well, you're going to have to listen to each other.
What was your job specifically? What were you doing? He's creating bridges. What were you doing?
Well, the one that I'm really thinking of, we had 3 project sites in Australia, but the one I'm really thinking of was we helped restore a cattle station, and nobody.
What'd you do? Restoring a cattle station?
It was an old homestead, what they call a homestead, and they were going to turn it into a ranger station and kind of a tourist site for tourists to come off and see what it was the place where they rounded up all the cattle, and it was a house, and we were roofing it.
When everybody is attempting to become a leader himself, and you're a leader, and they're a leader, and everybody's a leader, how does anybody become a follower?
I think that's a big part of it. Not everybody can be a leader. You got to learn when somebody else has more expertise than you, even though your ideas are always right. You have to learn to let them.
Come on, he had no training in building bridges. I mean, other than his Tonka toy, you know, he never had a bridge to build in his whole life.
In that case, it's the person with the loudest voice.
Have you been on a trip too, Karen?
No, like I said, I'm leaving in December.
And where are you going to go?
For New Zealand.
New Zealand. What about your training? What kind of what has been part of your training that you think will be the most valuable part as you go to New Zealand and so forth?
Well, right now I'm in the middle or towards the end of my fundraising, because part of the program is you're selected and then you apply for nomination to where you want to go, and then it's not official till you go till you raise $5,500.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
I forgot about that part.
That is the biggest step.
Tell the audience about that. What does that mean? You have to raise $5,500.
That means you go and knock on doors and friendly as
possible. Help!
That's right. Both Liz and I and Steve have done bike-a-thons, and in which case I went on one that we did about 180 miles in 3 days, and you go and you get pledges saying, this is Operation Raleigh, I want to work for my money. And so people give you a certain amount of cents or dollars a mile, and then you go out and have a lot of fun and then collect money.
You're saying that in addition to all the work that you're doing, you have to pay for the privilege, $5,500 to pay to work. You got to pay to work? Yeah. This is a wonderful idea.
Very worth it.
This Bashford Snell guy has thought up a great idea, paying to work. Did you get the $5,500? How did you raise your?
I was just selected a week before. It all happened within 3 weeks. I was selected. That week later, I was off in England for 2.5 months, and I was on a 3,000-mile bike-a-thon around Great Britain to raise money. And I didn't have time before I left to get sponsorships to go. I was there to raise money for handicapped and underprivileged kids, like shaking tins, selling balloons, which they loved. And we just raised money there while we're doing that, and now I'm going to come back, and I have a couple months to raise my money until I'm off next summer.
You guys sound very, very positive. I'm wondering, were there any negatives to any of the experiences? Letty, was there any negative for you?
There is a time when you're realizing what you're doing there, and if you really want to do something like this, you know, are you ready to grow up and face the real world? You know, and you talk to your friends, and they're from different countries, and they're like, yeah, you know, there's a whole world out there, go for it. And there's a little period of doubt, and it's over like that, and you're off having fun.
Most of us enter a new adventure with high hopes for a successful time. How do the promises that started at the beginning stack up with the goals you realized at the end, panel? Take it, Rick.
Well, at the selection weekend, I got the idea that I was going to be traipsing through this rainforest or some jungle for 3 months. And when I actually got there, one of the projects we had been told about was diving on the Great Barrier Reef. And I had
Sounds like a thing to do.
and I had diving training, so I was selected to go on this one. And the challenge that we were told about, where you're really gonna have to, it's gonna be fairly stressful, and you're gonna have to really motivate yourself.
Right.
And when we got there, it was really different. It was a scientific setting. We were doing research on the Great Barrier Reef, coral transects around this one island called Lizard Island, where a group of about 30 adventurers or so would do diving, a couple dives a day while we chartered this reef. And it wasn't what I thought of at all. It was more of, you are getting up on this beautiful island, doing some wonderful diving. You're doing the work. It's completely working dives. It's a research diving. Then getting out again and having a nice evening. And that was only 3 weeks of it, but it was challenging in a different way. You had to get along with different people. And
Are you good at that?
Everyone but one.
There's always one.
I gather that. And how do you make that person into your friend?
Well, he happened to be our dive leader, our dive marshal. He was a British. I hope he's not watching. He was a British Navy diver.
You didn't cut the tube. You didn't do
No.
nothing like that.
Sabotage, no.
Surprise.
Yes, and he was used to dealing with a lot of Navy men who followed every order. And when this 19-year-old American youth comes into his life, and the rebellion starts to come, though it started a little rough at the beginning, but we did work out a very good friendship at the end.
Good.
We learned to like each other for what that person has to offer.
That's one of the tricks of life. One of the tricks of life is to take an enemy and make him into your friend, or take someone that's really opposed to something you're doing, and have that person change their attitude a little bit through whatever message that you're going to send. Those are the people that probably need love more than almost anybody else. If you knew then what you know now about this cruising and the trips and Operation Raleigh, would you have done it? Would you do it, Steve?
I'd do it 3-4 times in a row.
Why?
Well, it's something that I don't think the world has many opportunities to do. The opportunity to get together and work together with people from such varied backgrounds is just not commonly found. I mean, the people that you meet, these people here, are all become instant friends, and it's not because they've had any special training. It's just that they learn to deal with people, and they learn to get along with people, and they're very open, they're very friendly, they're very outgoing, and it's very typical of what you'll find in all of Operation Raleigh.
Did the people that you built your bridge with, did you all come back? Did you all survive?
Yeah, oh yeah, we all made it, and we've all kept in touch. It's
Really?
costly, but I mean, but it's well worth it. And right now I'm on my way to Australia. I'll be leaving in a couple days to meet up with some friends there, and we're going to spend a couple months traveling around Australia and New Zealand,
Really?
rejoining friendships.
How marvelous.
So-
What'd you want to say before, Letty?
Now I can't remember. I was going to say, sometimes with our enemies, it's not so much changing their attitude or our attitude, but establishing a respect for each other's beliefs, understanding them. And that was a big struggle for me.
Tell me.
Well, there was one particular person from Liverpool that we clashed. Oh, it was horrible. We really clashed. But when we did say goodbye in Santiago and the British flew, he was the hardest person for me to say goodbye to.
Really?
Because through our squabbles, we had formed a friendship we knew that would last forever. And I know now that no matter where I go in the world, I can find those friends from Raleigh.
That's really nice. It's really nice to hear you say it that way, too. I'm aware that Operation Raleigh is supposed to be ending in 1988. It was set up as a 4-year
it'll never
project.
end.
Raleigh,
It'll-
the concept is not.
What do you mean?
Exactly.
Oh well, I think that Operation Raleigh was kind of the second of Operation Drake, which preceded it 1978 to 1980, and there are already quite operative plans to continue.
How many kids have been involved with this? How many kids have been involved?
There's supposed to be 1,000 Americans, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like 3,000 or 4,000 British, and we're supposed to get 4,000 venturers all together.
Yeah,
but
really,
they're
over
from
the
all
4
over
years.
from the countries, all different countries.
Yeah.
Actually, England is the main support. That's where actual headquarters is in London, and it's a lot bigger. I mean, I was in London this summer, and their headquarters is huge compared to our one room in North Carolina.
When all is said and done and all these different things have taken place, and it's now, we'll project you back into the 20 years ahead, let's say. It's a generation ahead. What are you going to remember about this Operation Raleigh? What's going to be in your
The
head?
friends that we've made, most definitely. I mean, I haven't even gone on my expedition
And
yet, and I can
Really?
I feel like
Handful of
I've got
people.
so many people that have the same interests as me and that I can talk to about things and just ask favors. It's wonderful. I mean, the person that we're staying with now, none of us knew. We just called him, can we stay? Sure, come on. You know,
Good. It's
and
what you'll
we're on
find.
his
It's what you'll
floor,
find
and
all over.
we stayed up so late last night just talking, and it's wonderful. It's great. The people is what make it happen.
It's disappointing to think that federally funded programs for youth, such as VISTA and the Peace Corps, have slowly disappeared or have been reduced greatly. As you can see through the eyes and voices of these Raleigh adventurers, youth needs to feel challenged, needed, and useful. We should feel grateful to the Prince of Wales, Colonel J. Blashford Snell, and Maurice Taylor. And I also applaud these young people who have participated in bringing the world a little more comfort and happiness through their sensitive efforts. For more information on Operation Raleigh, you can write to Operation Raleigh, 109 East Jones Street, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27611, or call 919-733-9366. Panel, you've been wonderful. This operation has been a huge success. For Teen Talk, this is Joseph Feinstein saying we'll see you very soon.